A good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Predator EuroTour Dutch Open, live from the Bonte Wever Hotel in Assen. You're watching Roman Hibler versus Dario De Prisco. Early rounds action. Winners round 1, race to 9. We're playing 9-ball. And it's an alternate break with 2 breaks, so it's what you see lately at the Euro Tours. So after 2 breaks we switch player, win or lose. So and it's Dario with the first break. There's a 3-point rule in effect, which means at least 3 balls need to go over the head string, or every potted ball counts as a ball over the head string. So in this case he made 3 balls on the break, which is already fine. Didn't need it, the 4. So he did want to go all around the angles, but got a collision into the 5. So already tough start. Whoa, could he make this? Wow, what an opener. So curious to see. Could be a pretty mandatory safety, but if he feels good, could go for the attack here, for the bank shot, or even the cut. Oh, he tried to cut, but that was not very close. So, first time to the table for Hibler, who recently won the European Championships Hayball. So, could say he's in good form. Great speed here. So there we go. This 9-ball to open his account in this Predator EuroTour Dutch Open. Well, early presence for the experienced Roman Hibler. So Dario De Prisco, first EuroTour. So his debut. And then already on the TV table, so can be a daunting place. So first break he got 3 balls on the break. Now he got none. And 2 balls over the head string, which means illegal break. And that's where Roman Hibler has the choice to attack, or at least to accept the shot, or to give it back. He is not allowed to play a push out. So just left an edge. Should be an easy safety. Play the one ball to the short rail. Nicely executed. And the easy escapes are blocked, so the 2 is pretty close. So I think he's still able to go 2 rails, but wow. Can he avoid the 8 ball? Think so. To watch out for the scratch though. If you hit the 1 ball too low, you can scratch, but if you hit it, a lot of positive things can happen with all those balls close to the 1 ball. Maybe gotta resave. Oh, misjudged that. Pretty wow, big margin. So Dario with a good chance here. Can get good on the tree. He has a really good chance for the clearance. Looks okay. Bit straightish though, but should be fine. So he would have liked to be a little bit more in the middle of the table. Now he needs to avoid the middle pocket. Well, because of that, I think at least, he played it a little bit too thick. Nice effort, just a little bit too pacey. Both players looking to settle in. Nice cut. So this is, you could say, against a player like Hibler, a must clear situation. You have to put some pressure on him. Let him know you're here. Then again, on your debut on the TV table, all these pockets of these beautiful Predator arc tables are, well, can get a bit smaller than they really are. As you can see. So again, 4 open balls for Hibler. Ball in the pocket can be a little bit tricky, especially with the new conditions, so expect him to navigate the cue ball good in between the 8 and 9. Nicely played. Left himself a little bit longer than he would have liked, but at least he got easy position. Whoa! That's a surprise, and you could see he was twisting that stroke in the end a little bit. He probably already felt that he wasn't aiming right. Early jibbers for both players. So elected to play the safe, but oh, it's not very safe. It's not easy though, but Roman probably pretty happy to get back to the table with an open shot. How's the speed? Looks good. A bit close to the rail. Yeah, there you see some experience. Knew was not possible to leave a good shot, rolling it in. Left himself a little bit longer. Assured himself a shot. So 2-0 for Roman Hibler in this Predator EuroTour Dutch Open. So Roman going in, checking on the rack. Very important. He knows he has 2 breaks now. So he's 2-0 up. Potentially he could go 4-0 up if he breaks well. So 2 balls down. 1 ball over the head string and a shot on the 1. Small angle, so he needs to really work with the cue ball. Nothing easy, but it is a chance. I like this. Left himself the bank shot, but now automatic position on the 3, so he's looking to go 3 rails, 2-3 rails position on the 3. Oh. Maybe a little bit too much focus on the position. So it's a little bit of a funny situation because it's not easy to land on the 3. Also a little bit of a stretch. Can he draw into the 6 maybe, or into the 9? Oh, I don't think it passes. It doesn't. Well, I like the idea, but the execution wasn't that good. And 2-0 against the European champion Hibler. Well, you gotta really need to pin him down. Meanwhile, Roman also found the gap. So pretty mandatory safety. Could go long rail, short rail with the cue ball, cutting the 3-ball to the other short rail. I found the snooker. Pretty easy escape. Well, he needs a reel. Well, is it in? It is in. Wow. That could have been a foul if it didn't fell, because I don't think he did. He hit a reel. Oh, nice safety. Putting some pressure on Dario. The jump, well, hitting it is pretty easy. Making it, playing position, well, it is doable. Well, it is doable. Tough luck. Pretty much anywhere on the table was good, except stuck to the 5. So I like going, yeah, this is what I like, only thinner. It is a chance, half a chance. Does he feel like going for this? Going a little bit safety in mind, going for the shot, outside draw. Just kill it a little bit. Oh, he hit it a little bit too thin. You could see it going into the left side of the pocket, which made the cue ball go a little bit further. Don't think that's on, so play to the short rail maybe. He kind of left some funny shot, so I think he should be pretty happy with this. Looks like an in-off either way if you just play it soft. Well, great effort. So, but on these Predator arc tables, on these pockets, as your first 9-ball on the TV table, wow. I tried to create some drama, or is it still there? It keeps rolling. It's not in. So 2-1. And Dario the Prisco opens up his account in this Predator EuroTour Dutch Open live from the Bonte Wever Hotel in Assen. Wow, and we got some action for you in the coming days, well, almost weeks you could say, because there's also a European Championship coming. So some short score updates. we got Anthony van der Bussen 4-1 against Gavis. Tim Jongman Dutchy 5-0 against Piotr Likowski. Mark Bijsterbosch on table 1 is going 3-2 up against Adrian Pollard. Dominic Regili 5-1 against Benjamin Muller. I will try to keep you posted with the rest of the scores, but first let's head back to the match. So left the long combination. Oh. Key shot, you could say anything but easy. Well, nice camera angle here. You can see the 3-ball is available in the same pocket. But can he get there? I think he would like to play position for the 3-ball into the middle pocket. If he gets pretty straight on the 3-ball, I really fancy him clearing this rack. Nice pace, very nice pace. So the only, well, maybe a little bit tricky part is from the 6 to the 7 because of where the 8-ball is. So it needs to be or straight or with a little angle towards the middle. Otherwise he needs to collision the 8 and it's gonna be a bit harder. So just has to make sure. Oh, I think this is not what he wanted, but he's just okay. He can go forward, playing short side on the 7, but the position on the 8-ball is a little bit tougher that way. Cue ball is probably gonna go pretty close to the rail. So he's selecting to draw here, leaving the cut on the 7. Wow, I got lucky. The reason he did that was to leave a bigger angle on the 7 to have easier way to play towards the 8. I like that thought. So shows me he's not afraid to make good decisions or bold decisions. So the hit was not that hard, but to not leave a shot, that was tougher. So he did leave the gut shot. Can maybe with some outside spin he can hit the 6-ball a little bit thicker and maybe it breaks a little bit on the rails with the speed. Inside spin, same thing. You can kill the speed a little bit. Like that. I'm not really sure what he tried to do here. Oh, cue ball is good, but it is a chance, and it is only 2-1, so This is a really good opportunity for Dario. Also would be a very big confidence booster. Where's the 7 going? Oh. Did he leave the cut? Bank shot doesn't look that bad either. And then especially on the new cloth with that speed, pocket opens up. There we go, 3-1 for Roman Hibler. Both had some good chances. And there we see table 1. Mark Bijsterbos against Adrian Pollard. 4-3 for Adrian. Mark, obviously one of the bigger pros from the Netherlands, so on home turf. Don't know if that adds to the pressure or not. Legal break. And thus that 2-ball passes the 4. Maybe, well, definitely doesn't go directly, but maybe he can cheat the pocket a little bit at pocket speed. Doesn't have to play it really hard because of where the 4 is, but well, it was maybe a tall order. So was looking to draw it in behind the 8-ball. Still left a pretty tough shot. Dario doesn't look settled in yet, so leaving him long. Yeah. It's tough when you play your debut against a good player. And then on the TV table, it's always tough. We've seen it a lot. More times, well, a lot of times, people do need some extra time to settle in on the TV table. And then in this case, well, Roman Hibler, he's been in that situation way more times than Dario, which is a pretty big edge. Often the TV table plays a little bit different than the other tables with the lighting, the heat. So all points you have to take in consideration. And then you have to say to yourself, just play, but sometimes that's easier said than done. Good shot. Doesn't need to be straight, needs an angle. I think it just got there. Force the cue ball into the reel with the draw. Great shot. Needs an angle though. This is too straight. I think he's just able with inside spin to get out of the situation, but yeah, well, did pretty well here. Took a little bit of a risk, but this is probably the best position you could wish for from that situation. Oh, there we go. 4-1 for Roman Hibler. So, on second break for Dario here. Needs a ball, desperately needs a ball. Didn't got one. It was a legal break, so Roman is allowed to play a push out if he wants to. Well, you can clearly see the one, so he's most probably is gonna look for a safety or an attacking shot, maybe. Think he can play the cue ball to the bottom rail. Well, did he get the hook? I think Dario can see at least a piece of the one ball. And then the second question is, does the 3 ball pass the 9? And if it doesn't, is there any kind of billiard on the 9 from the 3? From, for example, where the 6 is laying? Could be interesting. Otherwise, there is always the option of opening it up with the 2 ball. So, a little bit of bad fortune for Dario. Well, from here it looks really close with the 3 ball. Well, obviously it didn't go, otherwise Roman never would have gone for that collision. But with the cue ball that close to the 3 ball being hampered, do you float it into the middle pocket, playing maybe a 2-way shot with the billiard on the 9 and the 3-4 combination? Kinda like that, but don't know if it's on. Looks on though, especially when you maybe stun it a little bit. I think there's some kind of shot where you can play it 2-way. Let's see. Wow, he went all the way for the combination, going 5-1 up. So Roman is starting to look stronger and stronger every rack, and Dario is still looking to find his rhythm, his focus maybe. One ball down, one ball over the head string. Illegal break. So it's Dario coming back to the table. But he doesn't have an open shot and he's not allowed to play a push out. So what can he do with this situation? Safety behind the 2. Just went a little bit too far. Oh, containing shot. Didn't leave an open shot for Roman, so Roman has to play a safety as well. A lot of traffic. I think he needs to jump over the edge of the 2. And when you play over an edge, you don't have to elevate that much, which makes it easier to aim. Well, does at least he thought it went, and probably if he shot it like that, it did go. Well, can you roll up to the 2 from that distance? Maybe with a drag shot, playing it. Yeah. Nicely played. Nicely judged as well. Made it look easier than it was. Oh, great return by Dario, who's still fighting. And why wouldn't he? It's only 4 racks. Oh, another great kick shot. So, not really easy to get in a good safety position here. I like this. Just play it containing. Just make sure he doesn't get something easy. But there is a bigger pocket available. Didn't go for it though. So needs another good kick shot. And he got it. Wow, what a safety battle though. If you can't see it, well, watch out 9-ball, because otherwise he's gonna kick one rail and the 1-ball is going into the 9-ball. A lot of stuff can happen. Don't play it too soft. Yeah, create your luck. Oh, didn't fluke the 9-ball, but got the hook. So again, Dario needs to play a good kick shot. Until now, they both managed to, well, get something out of their kick shot. It's tougher from this position though. Got really close there. Well, is the combination on the 7 doable? Yes, it is very doable, but does he like it? didn't. He didn't like it and he played the hook. And oh, you could discuss that, you could debate that decision, but I think he mostly doesn't want Dario to get into his groove. Don't give away easy chance when you got a 5-1 lead. Wow, jumped that over the 1 ball even. And with the 2 and the 1 ball that close to each other, I think it's, well, it's maybe even possible to play position on the 3. To play it in the upper right. He's looking for position in the middle. I think now he's considering at least my shot. So the position on the 3 isn't that tough from here on, but to play it in a way where he can play position for the 4, well, that's very delicate. So I like this choice. The shot he needs to play on the 3 is more difficult, but the position is pretty automatic. Now, I think he would have liked a little less angle, but still, position should be okay. Oh, great pot. Showed some class in decision making and in shot making. Worrying signs here for Dario De Prisco and for everyone who's watching and cheering Dario on. Oh, this doesn't look good. Just got a little angle so he can go forward if he wants to get closer to the 9 for an easier 9, or draw back a little bit for a longer 9. Just a little bit too soft. Should be okay. Wow, speed saved him there. I think Dario, well, he walked up. I thought he was going to say he was going to take a timeout, but I think that would be a good moment maybe to break Roman's rhythm a little bit. So for the people just tuning in, you're watching the Predator EuroTour Dutch Open. You're listening to me, Pascal de Smit, calling the action. Wow. And it's Roman Hibler against Dario De Prisco. Winners round 1, race to 9, 6-1 for Roman already against Dario with his debut EuroTour. So first time EuroTour, and then already on the TV table, which makes it even tougher. The debut already can be pretty tough. The big stage. Do you cut it in the side for position on the 5, or do you roll in the 3 in the corner and top it for position for the 5 in the middle pocket? Both have their challenges. The 3 in the middle is a way more difficult shot to make, but the position is very easy. If you go for the corner pocket, then the position, you need an angle to go towards the 6. And this looks soft. So now he needs to negotiate the hit on the 9 ball. So there are some things that can, well, be a little bit tricky. The most safest thing is to roll into the 9, leave a longer 6, and at least that way you know no crazy stuff is gonna happen. I like this choice. Thing is though, the shot you're leaving, well, expect him to make it, but it is missable. Clean as a whistle. So I feel like there needs to happen something really special for Dario, well, to get back in this match. Roman is making good decisions and he's shooting well. Space looks pretty good. So for the people on YouTube, well, please, if you haven't done that already, subscribe to the Pro Billiard TV channel. It's a free stream. It really helps if everyone subscribes. It's free and it helps a lot. It helps the game. And Predator does a lot of great stuff. For example, these free live streams with commentary. If you like the commentary, that's a second thing though, but you have always the option to put it on mute and enjoy the match in silence, of course. Predator does a lot of stuff lately. All these great tournaments. So nice to witness the sport we love is growing, expanding. Predator has a really big part of that. That's one thing that is certain. So can he go around the 7 or in between the 5 and the 7? Around the 7. Nicely judged. So this is just a little bit of a tricky shot because he wants to leave a small angle on the 4. Just big enough to roll it in for position on the 5. But if the, well, for example, this position is, and the angle is a little bit too big, and now he's also hampered by the 6, so don't be surprised if he doesn't go for this one. Does he feel brave? He did feel brave. this case, well, did he get the hook or did he leave the shot? Did fortune favor the brave or not? It didn't. Is this the last real chance to maybe put some pressure on Roman? At this point you should say just let the arm go, just play, shoot, enjoy it. Oh, wow. Yeah, that looks like nerves. Yeah, on the club table in your local club, this is probably a 9 out of 10 clearance for Dario. But sometimes the big stage can do strange things to people. Wow. Another chance gifted. I have to say, on the new cloth, being that deep in the pocket is always tricky. Nicely judged though. From this angle we can see it is a little bit of a bigger angle than he would have liked. Well, got a little bit lucky with where the cue ball ended. Wow, that's an amazing shot by Roman Hibler. Wow, being jacked up, played it with inside, maybe even because it was a little bit more available, but to judge it from that position, missing the 9, that was very, very good. So this mandatory 9 ball to go up 8-1. Oh no! Oh no! Well, can you believe it? It's all happening. So if you're Dario, you could think, well, let's make this 9 and maybe this could be a momentum changer. Wow. That was way off. Oh, pretty sure he can't believe it himself. Yeah, and he's not gonna miss. Shot in position again. And, well, if anything, it feels a little bit late for a timeout. So there you see Adrian Pollard beating local hero Mark Bijstebos. The beast from the east, we call him. Already to the losers round in the early stage, which is, well, a shame for all the Dutch fans. Do I have to say, we probably have a lot of Dutchies left. And Mark is definitely good enough, well, to even win it from this, from the losers round. Some other matches finished. Also, Tim Jongman won 9-1 against Piotr. Viktor Zielinski, he won 9-3 against Alexander Hulsov. And all the other matches are still in play. Wow, that's a nice pot. Unlucky with the cue ball. So Momentum made up her mind and said, you know what, if you want to get me back, then you have to really work for it. So here comes Roman Hibler on the hill with a really good chance to finish the match. Looks like a big angle. Well, if the rail grabs enough, he could go up and down with inside spin, but as you can see, he was already checking the outside spin option, which is better on a newer cloth. Oh, he did go for my shot and it did grab enough. Didn't make the shot though. Well, great bank shot. A little bit of one pocket action, bank pull. There in these games you see that shot a lot of times. Well, some pressure on this shot. This could be his last time at the table if he doesn't hit the 5. Which he didn't do. Yeah, Dario also knows maybe time to regroup in the losers round. So 3 balls left for Roman Hibler for a place in the next round. Oh, needed just a little bit more angle, I feel, but maybe he can manage. Especially 8-1 in front. Wow. Great effort. Get close to the rail. Butt is going up. So there we go. Roman Hibler wins 9-1 against Dario Prisco. Well, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for a lot of more pool action to come today and in the coming days. We'll be guiding you through all the matches. Don't forget to subscribe to the Pro Billiard TV channel and of course tell all your friends. My name is Pascal de Smit. Thank you all for watching. Bye for now.
Dear pool fans worldwide watching live, we're back with another match here in the Dutch Open from the northern region in the Netherlands, Assen, as we'll follow this next match in the winners round one. Yokubas Silanchevas versus Christos Papageorgiou from Greece. Yokubas, who followed his tournament run in the European Championships back in Slovenia, and he was in a rich vein of form. So, hoping to carry on the confidence he must have gained from that event. If you've just tuned in, these players will be breaking twice per inning, as this is, needless to say, the first of the two attempts Yokubas will get. Also, the 3-point rule is in play, so if you're wondering why Christos was back at the table, is because Yokubas failed to get past the task of the 3-point rule, which means three balls have to at least pass the head string from the side of the table that they are breaking, or obviously pot two, three, or one ball with two balls passing the head string. To talk you through this match, my name is Arya Sorabi, and I look forward to see what this match has in offer for us. Although Yokubas a little bit unfortunate because there's a wall of balls, as we say, and he still managed to leave the putting angle on the two here for Christos. This is a delicate shot here, and has to be said, he stroked it nicely, and still cue ball ever so slightly ran out a bit further than he would have loved. It's one of those that it's very tricky to hold it now for the four in the side pocket. Might have to opt to put the four in the bottom right corner pocket. Yeah, that seems to be the pathway. I think he can just avoid running into the side pocket, but needs to bounce all the way back to the left side of the table to leave himself able to pot the five, or at least see the five. Needs to make sure of the pot here. That's the most important part. Yeah, nicely done. So, a couple of tough shots on his opening run here. And also with this positional side of the shot, don't know whether he can go around the back of the seven, or maybe he has to draw, knowing for well that he's going to run into the seven. So he's basically also trying to use the seven, get his cue ball back enough without leaving himself hampered with the 9 or the 8 here. Yeah, that's a lovely shot. Well played. Now, he's got options here. He can draw past the middle pocket, or use the side rail and cross the table to the left side, as he is now addressing the cue ball, just like that. I want to end on the rail here. That is a little bit disappointing from his point of view, which also limits the options now for him. A couple of rails needed now. That needs to bounce. It's hard to tell whether he can get to the putting angle. Considering how fast he got down on the shot, you'd say, yeah, managed just. It was a roller coaster ride there, this track, but he's come through the test with flying colors. This is a lovely start there by Christos. A couple of tough shots had to be potted, and like I said, passed the test. this time around. Made sure that the 3-point rule didn't come into the equation. And as you can see, most obvious question is, does the 4 pass the 7? Based on this camera angle, I'm leaning towards to say yes. That's very tight. Make no mistake, he didn't go for the attacking option there. That is a unfortunate fluke from his point of view. Yeah, I do get why he's trying to go up table, trying to kick the 4. Goes up table, he's got every chance to maybe pot the 4. If he chooses the shorter option, which is via the bottom rail, basically hoping to leave it safe. Now, this can be considered a chance, a slight chance by Christos, but needless to say, the opening shot is the key shot here. Not a lot of pocket to aim at here from this point of view. Yeah, have a look at that. That 5 ball has enough pace on it just to bounce back on the top rail to leave this possible pot very difficult indeed. Yokubas still going for this, but needs a lot of spin. So it was the difficulty degree of the shot. Need to hit the 4 very thin using a lot of side spin. Unfortunately, failed to make contact with the 4. Christos now in with a great chance to counter on both breaks of Yokubas. Gets to break twice on his own after this rack. And no real problems at the table for him. So just a matter of keeping his composure. Use the angles. Just the sort of start he would have hoped for, I would imagine. If we're being ultra critical as a right-handed player, anything other than being glued to the side rail would have been a bit better for him, just to get his bridge hand on the table. But this shot, not in a million years, should be difficult for these type of players. So it's Christos' turn now at the table. 2 breaks. Trying to increase the lead. I have a sneaky suspicion that the rack wasn't as tight as may have seemed because a lot of the balls are still fairly sticking next to one another. So that might have been, or that might have played a part in the end result of the rack or the break. But at the same time, it also provides us with the opportunity to see who will get the edge from this tactical exchange. And surely he can't get to the one directly, can he? Oh, he's going for a long jump over the distance. Thought the kick shot from the side rail also looked pretty dead on. Very fortunate indeed by Christos. Sometimes in pool you end up with a situation where it seems like there's no real advantage to be gained. Both players at these two of the stream tables, or the TV tables as we refer to them, are played under a shot clock, as we have a match official alerting the players when they running out of time. Yeah, once again, thought having all of the balls here on the bottom side, he would pretty much be guaranteed to hook his opponent, but again, that's not the case. This is one of the racks where it doesn't seem like there's a huge advantage trying to go all out to solve all the problems at the table. Yeah, that's a wise decision, although pretty sure Yokubas can at least see an edge of the two, which would be enough to come up with a better safety shot, put his opponent back in trouble. His only saving grace, of course, here is there's not a lot of place to play pinpoint position on the three, and from this angle, that's a lot harder than it might look. Cue ball needs to land right between the first and the second diamond below the right center pocket. That is a very tight space indeed. So much so he's overran it by a mile. Yeah. Needs to jump this. As you can see, clearly cannot see the edge of the three, but if you look at this picture here, 3 and the 9 seems to be dead set towards the left center pocket, so I think he's favorite to make this actually. There you go. That is desperately unfortunate for Yokubas because his opponent ran out of position there, but the combination looked nearly unmissable, which has also proven to be the case. This always seemed likely right after the layout of the after the break. The most obvious puzzle to be solved a little bit further down this rack is of course the 6, maybe even the combination 6 to the 9 if you manage to land nicely and straight in close range. He's been fortunate there, although the safety return shouldn't really cause Yokubas too much difficulty. It's all about controlling the pace. If you can control the pace of the 4 and send it towards the right rail of 2 rails, he should pretty much be guaranteed to snooker his opponent. Needless to say, very disappointed with the outcome there. That's a reprieve for Yokubas there. Must say, I didn't see that one coming. It's always fascinating to watch the players, their demeanor and the body language when they're down. It's a complete different complexion as to when they see a great chance and an opportunity. All of a sudden, energy is completely different. Important rack there for Yokubas. Closes the deficit, now trailing 1-3, as we see in our overview. This gorgeous arena with immaculate lighting and immaculate tables, and as well as equipment. So as we turn our attention back to this match, Yokubas, ever since his first break, he's definitely found the improvement on his break. His first break was an illegal break with a not so much of a full contact. Ever since, made the adjustments. You can cut this one in the right center pocket, and it's because it's so thin, he should be able to sneak around the back side or the left side of the 2 here. The only problem with that is it's so thin. It's a little bit hard to control the cue ball. You need to inject a little bit pace in this in order for the 1 to reach the pocket. I am under the impression that he was going for the pot there. I don't think he tried to play a 2-in-1 shot. Maybe tried to leave it safe. So it was a good effort there by Yokubas, but as far as your Christos, you're just happy to be back at the table with a chance to maybe put your opponent in some trouble. Yeah. Went for the attack there. Didn't get the result. Yokubas in with a great opportunity to close the deficit. That's fine. Left himself a shorter angle on the 8 just to go back up table off 2 rails. That is well short though. Still made light work of the, as you know, the 9 wasn't completely unmissable, but these young up and coming talents, they rarely miss an opportunity, or putting opportunity I should say, at the table. So it's a good recovery shot there by Yokubas, and now in with a chance to tie the scores. Yeah, unfortunate kiss on the cue ball. As soon as it hit the side rail, it looked dead set to drop in the center pocket. It's one of the frequent occurrences in pool billiards. Is you're breaking with some velocity, the cue ball can run into other balls, and next thing you know, from what might have been a great chance, now all of a sudden becomes a great chance for your opponent. Christos doesn't have to nudge the 5, but if he wishes to do so, he can, if he wants to move the 5 a little bit further away of the middle pocket. Of course, didn't have to do so, but with this angle on the 4, can he go past the 5 to put it in the same middle pocket? Yes, he can. That was a crucial shot. If he had to land on the lower side on the 5, now all of a sudden that would have made this situation a lot harder. Of the two players, what I would say is based on their mannerisms around the table, pace they walk around the table, and just in general, it seems like Christos is far more settled than his opponent. Although Yokubas has a completely different style, of course. It seems like Christos is just very in the zone. That's one of the elusive things, isn't it, in sports? All you're trying to do is get into the flow and just work on autopilot rather than overthinking, taking too much time for situations that usually don't take a lot of time or energy. Illegal break as the 5 ball just stopped short of the head string. So Yokubas has a good chance here. Of course, the opening shot seems to be the most difficult shot, particularly the positional side of the shot. Yeah, was a bit limited with his cue ball, of course, also for it being so close to the rail over the distance. There was no way to guarantee he would avoid running into the 9, and having done so, his next shot becomes a bit harder than he would have loved. He needs a couple of good positional shots. Firstly, from the 7 to the 8, and of course, leave himself easy on the 9 after the 8. Seems to have restored the situation nicely. Was desperately hoping to avoid running into the 2 and the 9. But, in all fairness, when you look at the position of the 1 ball, that was a complete misjudgment. Curious to see whether he's straight enough on this 2 to a stun shot or a stop shot, as most people refer to. Yeah, well, I do believe he had that angle, but well, in all fairness, the 2 didn't really threaten the pocket. So maybe he had a bit more angle than he presumed he had. Didn't manage to get the snooker, Christos, but made sure that the main part of the safety is to get the object ball safe. Yeah, that's very fortunate by Yokubas. The 6 has come down all the way to serve as a blocker. No points for guessing what's coming next. long jump on the 2. He will be going for this, but mainly he's just trying to make sure that he doesn't foul in this position. That is very unfortunate. Such a great jump. Even managed to get some backspin on the cue ball, but unfortunately fell short in the side rail. Now then, Yokubas in with a great chance to level the scores. Slightly overran this cue ball on the 4. Seemed to me that he was trying to play position on the 4 to the top right corner pocket, as he is looking to pot the 4. A little bit more angle than would have been necessary. Restored the situation well there. Now, from this angle, very easy to control the cue ball off the side rail. Yeah, there you have it. 4-all. I was about to say, just before we zoomed in on the table, I could see the cue ball of another table rolling all the way into the arena. Unfortunately for Yokubas, it didn't affect his break nor his concentration. I'm trying to think whether you can avoid running into the 9 here by putting the 3 top left from the angle we were looking at. Well, there's your answer. Could. And has to be said, this cue ball now, considering the position he was facing with, is A1. Nicely done there by Yokubas. Now, for the first time in this match, leaps in front, 5-4 up, as it seems like his opponent has just taken a timeout. Christos back of his timeout as we. Oh, the cue ball is gone. As we head into the second part of this match, the final part. We don't have a lot of time left, Christos. Still, both players are playing under shot clock rules with our match official in the arena overviewing proceedings. Just a simple stop shot would already do, but he's opting to go forward, leave himself low on this three, although, well, judging by his body language, not entirely happy with that shot. The only good thing is he's close enough to the three to create an angle for something. Yeah, nicely done. A player has the option to, just like that he had on the 5, whether to go up and down or punch it in off 2 rails. You rarely see players opt for the, let's say, slower pace of the cue ball. Most players prefer to punch the ball in, easier to control. Minor detail, of course. Not taking this putting angle on the 9 for granted. So after 10 racks, nothing to separate these two gentlemen. And Christos to break twice on his inning. Be a good moment to try and establish a 2-rack lead by converting his breaking opportunities. Oh, interesting. He's changed shaft on his breaking cue. I can only presume he's got a different style of tip on the other shaft. Didn't sound like his previous shaft was maybe damaged. This time around, nice full contact on the 1. This is as we refer to as the cut break. And as far as execution goes, that was 9 out of 10. You hit the 1 pretty full. Your cue ball needs to go between the middle and the first diamond below the corner, or sorry, the side pocket. That's actually exactly what happened with his cue ball. A nicely executed break with also a nicely executed running of the rack. Just these 2 balls left for Christos to try and apply some pressure on his opponent. We mustn't forget, the beginning part of the match, he was 3-0 up. Two inches further would have been ideal. Yeah, nicely done. That was a textbook break and run, as far as I'm concerned. One more of that if you're Christos. It's exactly what you're looking for. This time, however, dry break and no real issues at the table for Yokubas, so that is a letdown for Christos. As he's just watering his eyes. Maybe he is playing with some contacts on. Doesn't have to, of course, but if he wishes so, he could just drop his cue ball and go in between the gap of the 7 and the 9. Well, the pot the 4 are full enough, and has to be said, play that lovely. Got enough angle here on the 4 to inject some pace in his cue ball just to pass the right side of the 5 to pot it in the opposite middle pocket. Just needs to make sure that he leaves himself low on the 5, so more towards the bottom rail. See, this is not really doing him any favors. Now his cue ball is going downwards rather than upwards. That would not have caused him any problems. However, now he's got a couple of balls to take in consideration by playing his next positional shot. I don't know whether he can just top this one in and pass the 6 and the 7. Oh no. No, no, no. No. No, honestly, I can't really tell you what he was exactly trying to do there. I can only presume he was trying to land in between the gap of the 7 and the 9 for the 6, probably in top left corner pocket, but that was not really the way forward. A lot could have gone wrong, as you can see. I think he's left this. Yes, he has. So, what a great opportunity. Let go there, Yokubas. You know what? That was actually a very lovely shot there by Christos, because that is definitely not easy to be so accurate when injecting the pace in the cue ball. He's done well there. Not entirely sure whether he wants to put this 8 in the side pocket. Doesn't have to, of course. I do believe in the top right corner pocket leaves him much more chances to drop this 8 in. Yeah, but the cue ball is not landed nicely there. Yeah, as a right-handed player, you usually tended to put the 9 in the bottom right, as he will be attempting this 9 as well. This is an important shot here for Christos to try and apply some pressure on his opponent. 7-5 up, very close to the winning line from that position, of course. Oh, he's overrun it, and such was the pace. He was always going to leave a shot at the 9. A disappointing end towards the rack here. Both players had chances to win this rack, and then it seems like Yokubas in was going to end up winning this rack. I believe Yokubas has opted to pick up his timeout, so he'll get 6 minutes to return to the table. Yokubas back from his timeout with a sequel of breaks. Unfortunately, not a successful break. Landed a bit awkward here on the 3. A little bit limited with his cue ball in terms of leaving himself nicely on the 4. Trying to putt this with a lot of left. Oh, no, my mistake. Had the angle to force his cue ball off 2 rails, and that is a lovely shot by Christos. So far, so good for Christos, and this could prove to be an important steal on a break of Yokubas, because this would automatically mean he's unable to run out this match. Or I should say, put himself on the hill, of course. The obvious dilemma here is the path break from the 2 towards the 3. Trying to see whether if he can send his cue ball towards the 7, probably off 2, maybe 3 rails. It'd be very unfortunate not to have some sort of putt on the 3 here. Oh, he's lost his cue ball. Well, he still lost his cue ball in terms of not being able to putt the three, but luckily enough for him, it didn't land in the corner pocket. That is a huge difference. Leaving your opponent with ball in hand, or at least have a chance to come up with a good safety shot here. I do believe it's a full hook on the three. It shouldn't be too difficult for Yokubas to hit, or can he see just the edge of the three? I think he can, you know. Yeah, that always seems too much towards the rail. And even with a brand new cloth, these pockets they should not accept the ball from that angle being missed by so much. Left his cue ball short there, and now he's made this next shot a lot harder than he would have liked. Needs to avoid running into the eight, and that's exactly what he's done. And that all stemmed from his positional shot from the three to the four. It's one of the, I would say, rare shots players probably in less than 1% actually practices. It's when the object ball is unmissable, hanging in the pocket, and trying to play pinpoint position is, particularly over distance, is very difficult. It looks innocuous, but it's far from easy. I once had a top player from the Netherlands, tell me that his golden rule on that is he's just looking at the cue ball, not even at the object ball, because all you're trying to do is pay attention what amount of spin you're trying to inject in the cue ball, as well as the thickness of the pot. Yokubas could go for the bank here. It's attacking for sure. No, that is a mistake. That is a big mistake. Could have, might have put himself in some world of trouble here. Christos in with a great chance to put himself on the hill. I can only presume he's underhit that shot. I mean, surely he's not trying to play position on the 5 towards the side pocket. Oh, so many pockets available to him. This cannot be the easiest option. Again, Christos with a fabulous recovery shot. What's his angle like? Can he use the side rail to send his cue ball up table? On right spin, yes he can. Although it is tracking towards the middle pocket, but as you could see there, it never had enough power to reach the pocket. So you think one good shot here, caught the 7, and he's got a great chance to put himself on the hill. And of course, that also implies that his opponent cannot afford to make any mistakes. There you have it. What is, I was about to say, is there another twist? Christos put himself on the hill, aided by a spectacular recovery shot, pot on the 5. Now he's got 2 opportunities to close out this match. It's all in his own hands, as he will get to break twice. Yokubas sat in his chair, a little bit deflated. He's had chances throughout this match, and usually those are the ones that hurt the most, is knowing for abundance of chances and still somehow you've come up short. That's something that's tough to deal with. Let's see what type of a break Christos can muster here. Yeah, hit the one full on, but he has lost his cue ball. Yes, he can putt this 3, but it's far from easy. I suppose if he does manages to putt the 3, the cue ball will take care of itself. So one key shot, another huge shot coming up. Another great shot there by Christos. Tad bit unfortunate. If he has to land on the shorter side of the 5. Yeah, seems to be the case. Well, still landed as good as he could have from that position on the 5. just these 2 cuts to secure this win. The last 2 racks by Christos were nothing short of spectacular. And I'm sure he'll be happy with the latter part of this match. Produce some magic. And prevails, goes through to the next round, the winner's round. As for Yokubas, he'll get another chance through the losers qualification round. As for now, thank you for your attention and keep an eye on the YouTube channel as we have more live action coming up your way. Bye for now.